"You dropped your trash, Grandpa," the teenager sneered, laughing into his phone as the older man scrambled to pick up his cane and the spilled cans around him. A circle of teens stood nearby, amused, watching the chaos like it was a TikTok comedy sketch. The boy filming leaned in closer, mocking every shaky movement. "Come on, old man, you fought in a war and now you can't even walk straight?" The man on the ground winced. His veteran patches glinted under the gas station lights, his jacket frayed, his knees scraped from the pavement. But it wasn't the fall that hurt most. It was the laughter. That cold, detached laughter of a world that had forgotten the sacrifices he made. Phones were out, but not a single hand reached to help. Until one man did. No words, just action. A tall, broad-shouldered guy in a black hoodie stepped through the crowd. No camera, no smirk. His eyes locked onto the veteran as he knelt silently beside him. He didn't even glance at the mocking teen or the circle of passive onlookers. Instead, he simply started picking up the cans, every last one, and gently placed them back into the torn plastic bag. The laughter faded, replaced by confused murmurs. The teen filming lowered his phone. "Yo, what are you doing, man? This is a joke," he said with a forced laugh, but it cracked under the tension. Still, the man didn't flinch. His silence was louder than any insult. He took the veteran's arm, steadied him on his feet, and handed him his cane with a quiet dignity that didn't seek attention. The veteran's lip trembled, eyes wet. "The thank you," he whispered. The man nodded once and finally turned slowly toward the crowd. His gaze wasn't angry, it was disappointed. And somehow that hit harder. Shame crept into the faces around them. The silence now was heavy, suffocating. Then someone gasped. A girl in a red hoodie standing near the back whispered, "Wait, that's Sergeant Diaz." Murmurs rippled through the group. Recognition dawned. Some had seen him on the news. A decorated Marine, just months home from his third tour overseas. A man who once dragged two wounded comrades out of a burning Humvee under enemy fire, now humbly picking up soda cans for another veteran while kids filmed for likes. The teen who had mocked him looked stunned. "Bro, I didn't know," he mumbled. "I was just messing around." Still nothing. Diaz didn't need to speak. His actions had already delivered a lesson no one would forget. Then the older veteran, choking back tears, looked up and said, "Back in my day, we stood up for each other. Thank God some of that still lives on." That's when Diaz finally spoke. Calm, quiet, but powerful. "It only dies if we let it." A hush settled over the crowd. The teen took a shaky step forward. Ashamed, he bent down, picked up a stray can that had rolled under the curb, and held it out like an offering. I'm sorry. I didn't know he was a vet. I was just trying to be funny." Diaz stared at him. "So you only respect people if they have a title?" The words struck deep, and the teen looked down, guilt flooding in. "No, sir. I mean, I shouldn't have laughed. Everyone else." He trailed off, the excuse dying in his throat. "Everyone else isn't an excuse," Diaz replied. "Be better than everyone else." With that, he turned back to the older veteran, walked him to his car, opened the door, and made sure he was okay. Not for views, not for praise, but because it was the right thing to do. As Diaz walked away, the crowd parted. Not because he demanded it, but because they were in awe. One man, without raising his voice, had reminded everyone what real strength looked like: respect, humility, courage that doesn't need an audience. Later, people would learn more. Diaz had grown up in a rough neighborhood where bullying was common and kindness was rare. His own father, a Vietnam vet, had once been mocked outside a store for having PTSD tremors. A teen had spit at him while others laughed, and Diaz, just a boy then, had watched helplessly. That day changed him forever. He vowed never to let silence stand where courage should. He joined the Marines to protect the voiceless, and even back home, that mission never stopped. What that crowd witnessed wasn't just a man helping another, it was a legacy. A torch passed in silence, an act that didn't just shut down cruelty, it exposed it. The video that teen had filmed never went viral for the reason he wanted. But the moment did. People shared it, comments poured in. He didn't speak, he didn't shame, he just helped. And that shamed all of us, one read. Another said, the loudest message came from silence. And slowly, things changed. Teens from that night began volunteering at the local VA hospital. The boy who mocked. He joined a support group, started visiting veterans weekly, and now tells this story at school assemblies. Because sometimes change doesn't come from shouting. Sometimes it begins when you're too stunned to speak. And all it takes is one silent hero. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment, where are you watching from? If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below.